What's up, y'all? Just want to tell y'all today about a time I was in Job Corps and how it pretty much saved my life. So back in 2007, um, I was going through some rough times, which caused me to have a destructive mentality. Um, I was running in the streets, um, having at least two firearms on me at the same time because my mind was so messed up because I was going through a divorce at the time, and at the time my sister passed away. So I was like a ticking time bomb. I was full of frustration. I was mad at the world. I was had an evil spirit, an evil mentality, almost like a get back mentality. But nobody never did nothing to me. So it was a Saturday morning. I remember I woke up. I'll usually have the radio playing when uh, when I go to sleep. But when I woke up, I heard on the radio it said something about Job Corps, and they was telling me all the benefits of Job Corps. Even though I had my diploma, I still needed to get out because I sensed destruction coming from me. So either I probably would have killed somebody, or I probably would be in jail for the rest of my life if I didn't make this move. Cause all types of dumb shit was going on through my head, like robbing drug dealers and all that. And who knows what could have came out of that? I probably would have caught a body, knowing what state of mind I was in at that time. So that Monday morning, I came and I went down to the Department of Labor, and they was trying to get me to go somewhere close. I was like, nah, I don't want to go nowhere close because if I come somewhere close, it'll be easy for me to get back. And I needed to get away to get my mind together without coming home to the same distractions or dealing with what I was dealing with. So I goes up in Job Corps. I remember me getting off the bus, and everybody was outside. You know, it was co-ed, so boys and girls, they were outside. And I had on a long T-shirt say Trenton Exit 7A. You know, I'm from Trenton, New Jersey, to the death of me. And it was some other people there that was from Trenton, New Jersey. So the first thing they did was let the other folks know that I was from Trenton, that I was there. Hey, y'all got another Trenton dude up in here. You know what I mean? So we got acquainted with each other. You know what I mean? We wasn't like super fly, but we were cool, you know? We showed each other respect when we seen each other. Coming out the dorm or in the lunchroom, you know, we showed respect. But me, who I was close to was my man Tone. He was from Newark. There was a couple cats from Newark and a few cats from New York that I was cool with. But it was mostly up in that Job Corps Center, Delaware Valley Job Corps. It was mostly people from the Virgin Island, um, St. Croix and St. Thomas, New York, you know, multiple boroughs of New York. It was people from New Jersey, and that was it. And that was pretty much it, like that I can recognize. Um, yeah, so I met my boy Tone. Know what I mean? We was fly, my homie from Newark, like still my brother to this day. My boy Ali, my boy Treetop, and my man D Block. You know what I mean? We used to run together. We used to make liquor runs. So we used to sneak off campus and and go to the liquor store in town We used to cut through the woods and everything, trying not to be spotted by security. And we used to go cop the liquor. What I used to do is I used to get the cheapest vodka possible. You see what I'm saying? And probably get like 4 or 5 fifths of it. And on the weekend, like bottles like this used to go for 20. And then they also had the bottles half this size. Used to go to for 10. And I used to make a killing, man. I used to make a killing. And then also we used to go to Walmart once a week, and I used to stack up on like blunt rolls and cigarettes. I used to sell Lucy's. I used to sell snacks, Pop Tarts, and whatever snacks I could get my hand on. And I made a couple dollars off that. It was fun, man. It was co-ed, man. Look, it was like the chicks in there. Man, we just had a good time. And I remember one time, it was a Saturday morning. We was trying to sneak up in the girls' dorm. And one of the girls we went to go see, me and my man Tone, she tied 2 or 3 sheets together, threw it out the window. I wasn't with the shit, but my man Tone, this nigga climbed up the goddamn wall like Spider-Man just to get in the girls' dorm. I went up the steps. I took that risk, but we ended up getting caught that night. Luckily, we had cool resident advisors, because if it was somebody else, we would have got terminated. We would have been on our way home. But we had cool resident advisors, and they just gave us like community service. We had to clean up in front of the dorms and stuff. And I remember one time, me and this guy, we had beef, right? And we used to always talk shit, passing each other or whatever. And one time, I'll never forget, it was snowing outside. And, I was in culinary arts, so I was serving the food. Me and this dude had words like while he was getting his food. I was like, all right, don't make a fuss. Just meet me in the dorm. Don't make a scene neither. You know what I mean? So I had my headphones on. I'm going back to the dorm after finished serving the food on a Saturday morning. I believe it was breakfast. And him and his brother came behind me and pushed me to the floor, man. I had on a pair of New Balances. I ain't even hear this joker coming behind me. You know what I mean? So I grabbed him, lifted him up off the ground, had my left hand around his throat and was pounding him. And then his brother jumped in. You know what I mean? And at the same time, my man Tone from Newark, you know what I mean? He came, he said, oh man, they jumping pole wall. Bitch, this nigga went berserk. You know what I mean? So, the fight ended or whatever. And then, the resident advisor was like, look, we ain't gonna have this shit on my floor, you know what I mean? Either y'all could go downstairs, go in the room, and y'all could thug it out, but after y'all do that, this got to be the end of this. So we was like, okay, it's me and Tone and you and your brother, and we gonna rock it out. You know what I mean? So they ain't wanna do that, you know what I mean? After he felt the wrath for me airing that motherfucker out. So, yeah, that was one of the highlights of being in Job Corps. But, I took a course of culinary arts. And culinary arts, pretty much, me and my instructor, we didn't work too well, you know what I mean? Like first coming in. Her name was Miss Gus. But then at the end, man, I loved this lady like fly, like white on rice. You know what I mean? That was my heart afterwards, man. And rest in peace to her. You know what I mean? She died after I graduated from Job Corps or whatever. But that was my heart after that, because she really seen potential in me. And she really, really, she helped put me in charge of the whole kitchen. Like I had the keys to the freezer, receiving things. And, I was like the head NIC of the culinary arts, you know what I mean? So she put me in charge, and I really appreciate that. It showed me how to be a leader, in an efficient way, and how to manage a kitchen. And I used that skill to really It benefited me after Job Corps as well. But you know, like on the weekends, we had this place called the Chapel, and we had a DJ, loud speakers. Man, we used to have parties. Um, all of the most of the girls from the Virgin Islands and most of the girls from Jamaica, you used to tear that shit up. It was like a freak fest up in that joint. You know what I mean? At first, I wanted to go into auto mechanics, but that trade was full when I got there. So I was like culinary arts because I wasn't trying to do no security or nothing like that. That wasn't even up my alleyway. But man, I used to make so many people like specialized meals and everything. They loved me. They was like, I want you to make my sandwich. I don't want nobody else. Cause I used to whip it up, chef it up. You know what I mean? And they like how I did it. And I used to order certain things out of the ordinary, you know what I mean, that had flavor to it, you know, like seasonings and different type foods. Cause I helped do the order from Cisco as well. But yeah, Job Corps saved my life, man. And I really appreciate Job Corps. But when you go, it's so many distractions there. You gotta have your head on right. You gotta know what you want. You gotta know that you came there for a purpose and not get caught up in the bullshit. Because if you get caught up in the bullshit, they damn sure will terminate your ass in a minute, in a heartbeat if you coming on that bullshit. But you know, I like to do my little thing. I used to hit the weed a little bit, you know what I mean, and chill with the ladies and chill with my homies, man. And I had a good time. And through it all, it helped me regain my sense of mind. I had a purpose after that, and I didn't come out on the same bullshit. But you know, I'll tell you guys what happened next in my life at that point in time in my life after I got out of Job Corps, what I started doing, and just my life afterwards. So stay tuned. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.